Hi everyone and welcome back. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be doing a hair drawing tutorial, and this has been one of the most requested videos here on my channel. So for those of you that have requested this drawing tutorial, I really hope this is helpful. And before I begin, I just want to quickly say that if you are looking for a tutorial for realistic hair and you're looking to try and draw realistically, then this drawing tutorial is probably not going to be very helpful for you, because all I'm going to be doing is showing you how I personally set out hair, how I approach drawing hair, and how I draw hair on different characters. And it's going to be very stylized. So I just want to put that out there. This is not the only way to draw hair. It's definitely probably not the right way if you're trying to draw realistically, but it's a way, and it's my way, the way that I'm using at the moment. So I hope if you're looking for some a tutorial on how to draw stylized hair, then I hope this will be helpful for you. So that said, I've gone ahead and I've drawn out these three faces, and I also just want to quickly say that if you are looking for some tutorials for how to draw eyes like this, how to draw noses and lips, and how to put a face like one of these together, then I do have tutorials on all of those things, and I'll leave a link to the playlist in the iCard section above in the right hand corner. You can find it there, and there's a whole playlist full of drawing tutorials. So that said, let's get started. Now I'm going to start with this girl over here, and I'm going to start by drawing one of my go-to hairstyles, which is a sort of a long wavy hair style. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to bring this line down here, and I'm going to curve it round like that. And I'm going to try and keep my lines as clean as possible, but I sketch quite messily. I draw the line like this. I don't put the pencil straight down and then just draw one straight line. When I'm sketching, I like to be quite soft and gentle and sort of just bring the line slowly along, I guess, like this. Right. So that's the first strand of hair. Now, when I'm drawing hair, I'll show you over here, I don't draw individual strands like that. I draw hair in clumps. So normally they're clumps that start at a point, they go out in the middle, and then they taper back to a point. And that is the basic hair clump that I draw. Now, I may draw hair that's really wavy or really straight, but I always tend to go back to drawing things in clumps. And so I've started with a clump that comes down like that, and now let's draw one that comes from here and tucks down there, and then we'll draw that comes out like that. And if I'm going to have to rub that out because I'm going to draw the hair down there. And let's see, so over here, we'll start one over here, curve it round, and we'll just loop it in like that. Then we'll pull this out, down there, out again, and down. Let me just go over this a bit harder so you guys can see. And I'm just going to rub out the ears and the bits that are going to be hidden by the hair. And now I'm going to bring down one here at the back and sort of bring some hair that you can see coming down. Now I want to keep the hair quite close to the head in this case. I don't want too much coming out and flying all over the place, so I'm just going to bring a couple more strands down, and that is about that for that hairstyle. Now you'll notice, I'll just put a little bit up here. You'll notice that I'm starting from the parting line, and that's one of the things that whenever I start hair, I always start from where the parting is. So the parting could be in the middle, it could be over on one side, or you could have no parting where you have all your hair brushed back. But I always try to start from this middle area. And the other thing that I want to do is just add a few little wisps of hair coming down here. I just find that helps to make the face look particularly nice. And I end up drawing lines inside of these sections, but I tend to do that when I outline. So I'll come back to that in a moment, and we'll move on to the outline of the next hair shape, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I'll just roughly outline one of the hairstyles and show you how I fill in the details. But as you can see, we're basically moving with clumps, and I'm trying to give some flow to the hair as well. So for this hairstyle, this half up, half down hairstyle, I'm going to start, again, she's going to have a center parting, and I'm going to bring a line down like that. Then I'm going to bring it like that and end it like so. So again, we've got the same sort of clump going on. We're starting at a point, drawing a line, and then we're coming out and moving back to the point again. So it goes from one point to the other, and it's thicker in the middle and thinner at the sides. And that's basically how I approach drawing all hair, whether it's tiny little curls that you're drawing hundreds of to create a really curly hairstyle, whether you're drawing really, really long, wavy hair, or whether you're drawing hair like I am here. It's all in these sort of sections and clumps. And I partly do this, I partly draw like this because it's how I colour. So when I'm colouring hair, I do the same thing. I start with the dark colour at the bottom of the shape and I feather it into the middle. So I tend to draw hair to match how I colour it, and I find that very, very useful. I'm going to draw on another clump of hair and draw it like this. Then I'm going to draw a little clump that comes down like so, then starting here and coming down here and coming down to about to the bottom of the ears, and then I'm going to repeat this. So line down like that, then I'm doing the clump and then another clump and then this clump at the top and then coming down to the bottom of the ear like so. And then, as always, here between this line and the top of the ear, normally if you look in the mirror, if you have long hair that is, you'll often find a little clump of hair poking down. It will either be a little triangle or you might have a few wisps of hair escaping, and I pretty much all the time like to draw these wisps of hair in. So now starting from here, we're going to bring down the rest of the hair that's loose. So I'm just going to bring down quite a simple clump like this, and I'm going to bring the hair down pretty much like this. So if it's going to go in the middle of these clumps and rub out the sides of the head that are visible, and that's pretty much how I draw a half up, half down style. Now you can see some of these clumps here have got very long and slender. They don't always have to be so big. You can draw, sometimes if I'm drawing very long and straight hair, the clump may be very small and tapered, but I'm still using the same method in all of the hairstyles that I'm drawing. So now let's go ahead and put together this last one, which is going to be a messy bun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, at the top of her head here, I'm going to just draw in the kind of the hair tie or the clip that's keeping all the hair together, just so that I know I have the top of the hair done. And now in this case, her hair is actually all brushed back, so you don't see much of a parting. And I'm just going to draw a clump like so, and then I'm going to draw a curved clump like that, and then another clump like this, and then I'm going to take the last one down to just behind the bottom of the ears, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side and bring that clump up, and there we have, there we go, her hair done like that. And then up here I'm going to bring a curve like this, I'm going to bring a curve like that, and then a curve like that, so that the curves are kind of all meeting in the centre there. And then last but not least, we need some little strands of hair, and I'm going to make these a little bit longer, just to sort of, because often when you have a messy bun, you'll have a lot of hair escaping. If you wear messy buns or wear your hair up like this, you often have, after a while particularly, the hair starts to escape. So I like to bring it down like this. And you could have hair coming. I don't tend to draw hair strands coming off the main clumps though. I tend to keep it clumped together and have the hair, if I have hair strands, they tend to just escape down by the ears on my characters. So that's basically how I lay out these three different hairstyles. Now, one of the things that I will go and do afterwards, this is not the end of what I tend to draw. So after I've done the main clumping, what I do is I come inside the clumps and I draw in lots of fine detail lines following the lines of the clumps, and I'll just draw it in quickly here on this one. And for me, it makes a lot of difference to my characters. Now, sometimes when I colour, you don't see the lines anymore, especially if I outline her in a light colour like a purple or a pink, and then I go in with dark brown to colour it, sometimes you don't even see the lines anymore. But it's always a step that I take, and I do like having all these little lines inside the hair. So what I'll do is I'll quickly outline this one over here, because normally I do the fine lines inside when I outline. It's one of the last processes that I do. I'll just draw it out a little bit bigger so you can see. So if we say here we have a clump of hair, right? Now what I do, I'll just make that a little bit darker, press a bit harder. Okay, so I'll come in here, start in the centre often, and draw a line. Then I'll draw another line, and I'll follow the shape, the curve of the clump here, and that will be a line of hair. So I've got two fine liners here, one in 0.3 and then one in 0.5, and I'm just going to outline the hair so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to follow this line and come back again and outline that like this, and then I'm going to follow this line, come down here, and then I'll do this one here. This one comes like that, and there's another bit that comes like that, and then over here, because I'm such a messy sketcher, it's often quite difficult for me to see where my lines are. So sometimes the lines change a bit as I'm outlining, but it doesn't bother me. I just try and make it look nice. And those are the little bits in there. And I've got a little line there. And I think I'll just draw on the edge of the cheek and the chin and the neck here, because we're going to need to detail in there. And just really briefly, just so she doesn't look too odd, I'll just quickly outline. I'll outline the face quickly. And with all these tutorials, when I'm showing you guys how I set something out, I don't like to follow strict rules. I don't measure, as I explained this before when I was doing the how to draw faces tutorial. I never measure anything or spend a lot of time, just colouring these eyes a little bit, spend a lot of time placing things out. I just sketch messily, and I try to be quite free and fluid with the way that I sketch and lay things out, and I try to go quite instinctively. So it's quite hard to do a tutorial like this where you're explaining how you lay things out, because I have a bit of a method, but my method is really just clumps. It's very simplistic when I say it out loud, and it doesn't involve many steps either. So it's a little bit hard to teach, I guess. So I hope that it is coming, you guys can kind of see what I'm doing and I'm explaining it well enough. So what I'm just doing now is I'm just going briefly back around the whole outside. And this is another reason. The way that I draw hair is suited very much to the way that I like the style to look and how I colour. So one of the reasons why I don't do lots of little wispy strands flying off is because I like to go round afterwards and outline round the outside the whole thing. So I kind of like to make a lot of my drawings look a little bit, I guess, a little bit like stickers, or I like to give them a slightly thicker outline round the outside. And I could do another tutorial on inking if anyone's interested at some point. But if I had lots of little wispy strands, it wouldn't suit this style of inking very well. So now that I've done that, we'll just quickly rub out the pencil lines so it will be easier for you guys to see what I'm going to do now. So now I'm taking the finer liner here, And if you don't have two liners that are of different sizes, then you could just use the first liner to thicken up all your lines, and then when you go in again, the second lot of lines will be thinner. So we're going to take this clump here, and I'm going to follow it down, and follow this one down, and you just want to fill in, if you want to do this, you just want to fill in the clumps with strands of hair. And this is a stylistic thing that I do because I like how it looks, and you of course can modify. If you're following along with this tutorial, you could, what I would recommend, if you're not quite sure, if you haven't found a unique style yet, or you're not quite sure what you like, I would follow along with lots of different tutorials. So don't just do this one, go and find lots of other ones and follow along with all of them and draw out and do what they all suggest. And then as you're drawing, you'll begin to kind of see, well, I like drawing clumps, but I really don't like the look of it all out lined inside. So you'll begin to sort of put together what you like and what you don't like, and also what you feel comfortable with drawing. Because sometimes you may see someone else draw in a certain way and it looks lovely when they do it, but then when you try it, it just doesn't look right. I have lots of things that are like that with me. I see lots of people's artwork that I think, oh, that looks lovely, but when I try to do it, or try to do something in a similar way, it just doesn't work for me. So you just got to find a combination of things that work for you, and that's where looking at lots of different tutorials, I feel, is really helpful. So that, I believe, is about that. So that is how I draw hair, and as you can see, the darker outline, the thinner lines in the inside, I just particularly like how that looks, and I like to give hair a lot of wave and body to it, but I also like to not to make it too bushy as well. It depends on what hairstyle you're going, but this is how I draw a sort of a regular wavy long hair, a half up, half down style, and a messy bun. So I really hope that this tutorial was helpful. I'm sorry that this video is a long one, but these real-time drawing tutorials, you guys like them, and they are long. That's just the nature of these sorts of videos. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And as always, I hope you will have a creative day, and I will see you next time.